My name's Mike Rowe, and this is my job.
I explore the country looking for people who aren't afraid to get dirty.
With all that protein, they've probably got the squirts.
This isn't sawdust, it's toilet paper.
Hard-working men and women who earn an honest living.
Why is my shirt off and why am I lying on another man who's lying on an alligator?
Doing the kinds of jobs that make civilized life possible for the rest of us.
Now get ready to get dirty.
Coming up on Dirty Jobs, this place is really the pits.
The inside of a tar pit, I suppose, right?
This is Pit 91, and there are lots of bones down there.
Even so, creatures who come here tend to stick around for thousands of years.
Because of the preservation that's here in the tar pits, the asphalt preserves the bones really well.
The job is getting them out again, but it's not easy or clean. And the next one to get stuck might be me.
May have overestimated.
Yeah, how you doing there, Mike?
Okay.
These days, there aren't a whole lot of things that can't be recycled. You can add one more to the list: cows who have died of natural causes.
The bones, the organs, the intestine, the stomach, the liver.
We waste nothing.
The process is called rendering, and it's good for the environment and the bottom line.
I recycle more in one day than most people do in a lifetime.
And it's as bad gets in every other way.
Oh, dear. Oh, God. About 10 to 40,000 years ago, this Columbian mammoth walked straight into a hole in what I suppose we would have called Pleistocene Los Angeles. Today, we call the hole the La Brea Tar Pits, and I'm not sure why, because that's not really tar. It's actually asphalt, and it's not really in a pit. It's in a seep. And this isn't really a mammoth. It's made of fiberglass. And not to be overly pedantic, but the La Brea Tar Pits are actually off of Wilshire and Curson. Aside from all that, if you're one of these, don't go in there.
The La Brea Tar Pits are located in the heart of Los Angeles. Natural asphalt created from local petroleum deposits has seeped up from the ground for tens of thousands of years, forming sticky pools that have trapped local critters since the last ice age. Native Americans and early settlers used the tar for glue, caulk, roofing material, and fuel. But the first published mention of fossils at the site wasn't until 1875. In the early 1900s, paleontologists in search of bones removed asphalt from the seeps, forming pits. Scientists continue to make discoveries here, but these excavations need to be maintained or the constantly seeping asphalt will fill them in. Sounds like a dirty job.
Well, that's a lovely view, no matter how you slice it. The inside of a tar pit, I suppose, right?
That you're supposed correct.
This is Kristen Brown, and she's filthy. And your title here is what?
Lead excavator. Pretty prestigious, right?
It sounds good.
It does.
Kristen has given me a purple do-rag, and I'm told that I'll see other people wearing similar headgear, because I don't want to be the only guy.
You might be the only guy. It makes you special.
So I'm special. What is this particular pit called, and what is happening to it?
This is Pit 91. This was the 91st pit that was excavated in the early 1900s, and there are lots of bones down there.
Who's that?
That's Ryan.
What's he doing?
He's getting ready to shore. What we're going to do.
What is shoring?
So when you create this big hole, if we don't put boards on the side, it'll slump in.
You're shoring it up.
He was shoring it up.
All right, well, first we got to get the lag screws out. Watch for dust.
Righto. That's rotten, man.
Pit 91 is a low point in the park, and the water is constantly flowing into the pit and rotting the shoring boards. We're tearing out some of the old boards and replacing them.
Hey, Shud, are you putting on one of these do-rags, or am I really going to be the only guy dressed up like a pirate today?
I'm afraid I don't wear those. They tricked you into it, man. Sorry. First injury of the day.
Woo, woo.
What'd you do?
I hit my hand with a hammer.
Because it's a standard thing.
Is that a fossil, or is it a piece of wood?
Feels like a rock.
Why are you such a pessimist all the time?
I'm not a pessimist.
Look,
that's a major
You know what
find.
that is? That's part of the sternum of a mastodon. That's awesome.
That's
cool.
a really small mastodon.
It was a baby.
It's a
He died young. It's very sad. I got a fossil in my eye. That's why you wear gloves, kids. This seems dangerous. What a strange sweat pattern I got going.
It's like one of
I
those
don't know what
ink
happened
blot
over here. Yeah. It's a Rorschach. What do you see?
I see
a mastodon.
a mastodon.
Yeah, I gotta eat more French fries.
So it's just now shaving?
Yeah, we gotta shake these down.
Right.
Got the showing board bits in there. The showing boards we're using now are thicker.
Right. The sawing sound you're hearing is part of the crew preparing, Ryan, the board to be the proper size.
That's right.
What are we learning from your work here? Think about it if you have to.
No, I don't have to.
I'm just, all I'm asking you to do is justify your entire existence.
Okay, the reason why this job is important,
Uh-huh.
climatology is a big issue right now.
Climatology?
Yeah, the way the climate's changed, everyone talks about global warming.
I've heard that.
Right?
Yeah.
You've heard it mentioned a couple times. Because of the preservation that's here in the tar pits, the asphalt preserves the bones really well.
Uh-huh.
And everything that it can tell us what the climate was like way back when and how the animals adapted or, you know, different plants that were here.
We got a tooth in here.
A tooth?
Where are you looking at?
Piece of clay right above that worm.
Yeah.
Ryan, I don't know. Oh. Yes.
It's bone.
Yes, it is.
Now, okay, help me understand how that's a bone and not a piece of wood or hardened clay.
Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between a rock and a bone. And that's when you tap it on your tooth, or I do, because a rock makes a ping sound and the bone doesn't make, and it's a different sound.
Go ahead, tap it on your tooth.
See, it doesn't ping like a rock. Oh!
Oh, dear, Doug. I would have seriously rethought that one. That's a good one.
Dude, you just look at your shoes.
Yeah, can you spread it around a little more, Doug?
Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Glover.
All right. I'll get the other end of it here.
Good thinking. So we now slap the wood into place.
Let's get it high enough for ramming.
Push the wood in as far as it'll go.
That's right. About right.
Dude,
So thank you very much. Pretty helpful on that one.
Please, it's the least I can do. What are these guys doing?
They're going to be glopping. Go glop. It's exciting. You should go glop. You're in for a treat.
Coming up,
So some of these spots, there's so much of it, it's just easier to use your hands.
Really?
Yeah, there you go.
when the risk is getting dirty, the reward can be getting clean.
Like it at the tar pits.
And later,
You have a special name for this truck?
I call it a dead truck.
The dead truck.
a truck that gives new meaning to the term meat wagon.
This is exactly the kind of truck you don't want to be behind. You're going down the highway.
The lowest point in Pit 91 is the sump, where water flows to and waits to be pumped out. Asphalt is also constantly seeping into the pit and sometimes prevents the water from making it to the sump, causing puddles that interfere with the ongoing excavation.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
You're Michelle?
Yes.
And you're?
Andrea,
And I'm Mike.
nice to meet you.
And Kristen said you're glopping?
Yes. Yep.
What is glopping?
Glopping is the process of scooping all this liquid asphalt and water out into a bucket. And the water we pour into our pump area.
Uh-huh.
And the asphalt we take out of the pit using that chain hoist over there. So, and then we dump it into Pit 9.
Pit 9.
Yes.
And why are we taking the buckets of asphalt?
Because if we didn't do this, the pit would slowly fill with liquid asphalt and water.
It seeps
Yeah.
up through the cracks.
These things that you see sticking out, those are all bones. So you don't want to step on those.
These are bones.
Yeah.
Bones from what, you reckon?
I think the one closest to your hand is, I think that's a rib.
That's a rib? Is it okay to touch it?
Yeah, you can touch it. The clear stuff is water.
Okay. Glopping is just another way of being an oil-water separator.
Basically, yeah.
Pretty much. This is our trench right here behind you. That's completely full.
Once we clear the asphalt out of these trenches, the water will just, that's why we have the trenches. The water will just pour down there and into our sump.
Okay, so, but you don't have a trench.
No, we need you to make us a trench. So some of these spots, there's so much of it, it's just easier to use your hands instead of the trowel.
Really?
Yeah. There you go.
Now, this really is a job, right?
Actual job. Every week. At least once a week we have to do this.
Once a week, glopping.
Yes. It's kind of a rite of passage.
It is. Good. They approve.
We have trenches. Oh, now you're just messing around.
Oh, I was just doing some glopping. It's Laura, right?
Yes.
What is your job?
I today get to help me clean out the sump.
Help you?
Now you've been getting all the water down there.
Me. Okay.
Asphalt is also constantly seeping into the sump, leaving less room for water waiting to be pumped. This tarry goo is too thick to be suctioned out, so we have to remove it manually. Today, that means me.
You ever thought about doing this every day?
I don't think much anymore.
Side of the pit when Kristen fell it. I managed to fall off one of the walkways. Because, yeah, it's a new consistency I've actually never quite seen before.
Well, this is a big day for all of us.
Oh, wow, there's two. Nice.
May have overestimated.
Yeah, how you doing there, Mike?
I'm okay. Yeah, something tore loose. There you go, got it. Well, how do we know when we're done?
We run out of buckets. Our last bucket.
That's a horrible job.
Yeah, possibly the worst.
Okay. Now there's
Hoisting, yes. We have to pull all of these out of the pit.
Doing great work, Michelle.
Thanks.
Yeoman's work.
Oh, yeah.
Out of over 100 seeps excavated, Pit 91 is the only one currently active, leaving inactive pits available for dumping tar.
And how deep would this be again?
I think it's like 30 feet. But there's 7 dead crows on the surface. There's one there, there's a squirrel right there.
Whoa, 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 where?
Okay. See that fur patch right there?
Oh, yeah, that's a dead squirrel.
That's a dead squirrel.
Oh.
Those look like sticks, but I think those are feathers. There's 2 more crows over there. There's 3 more over there. There's another squirrel over there.
I'm lifting him straight up. Oh, that's a putrefied squirrel. Oh, he's just completely dissolved. So all kinds of things still.
Yep.
Creatures from today hop in here, and that's the end. Jacked up way to go. What can I do now?
You're going to go to the lab now and visit Shelley.
Shelley's in the lab?
Shelley is in the lab.
Would it be appropriate for me to tidy up first a little bit?
Do you want to?
I'd like to.
You can tidy up a bit.
The
She
tar
wouldn't
is
mind.
taken.
I go to the lab like this all the time.
Yeah, but this is my first impression with Shelley. I want it to be good.
It should be a good
I
impression.
want everything to be perfect. Honestly, I don't have an ounce of privacy. Can a man be alone with his baby oil and his Gojo?
Doug had some cleaning of his own to do.
Nice going, Doug. You're not getting that off. What are you doing, man? You're crazy. You think you're gonna clean that?
Yeah, I'll get these clean.
Unlike Doug, I had some help.
Actually, you did a pretty good job.
Yeah? Brand new pair of shoes.
You think you're gonna clean that off? Ain't coming off. Clean, not bright.
Like it at the tar pits.
Coming up,
I see why you call it a fishbowl. You're under constant scrutiny.
That lets the public see that we're more than just finished exhibits, that there's still new things to be found.
in the fishbowl, all the animals are dead, and none of them are fish.
The public looks through the window and says, what are they doing in there? It's a window to look back.
And later,
how'd you get this job?
My brother, he worked 20 years for the company.
For the really good jobs, you got to know somebody.
a bad job that's hard to get, but easy to keep.
I don't have competition in this job.
No, there are not a lot of people wanting to do.
Job security.
Shelley's lab is at the George C. Page Museum, right here in Hancock Park. Specimens from the surrounding tar pits are cleaned and prepped here for scientific study. Museum workers are on display themselves, and what we learned is called the fishbowl. In fact, there's so many fossils that there's a 250-year backlog of cleaning and categorizing.
This is more what I had in mind. This is the Page Museum, the prep area for it, I think. It's the saber-toothed cat, not the saber-toothed tiger. These are lots of different dead things. That's the ground sloth, short-faced bear, patriotic, short-faced bear.
Hey, Mike, welcome to the fishbowl.
This would be Shelley. Hello, Shelley. How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
Came to see our mammoth?
Well, I came to see whatever you're going to show me, but I see why you call it a fishbowl. You're under constant scrutiny.
Yes, but that lets the public see that we're more than just finished exhibits, that there's still new things to be found.
Gotcha. This is obviously a part of a mammoth.
This is the lower jaws, upside down. We call him, this one, Zed. He's got a name.
Why do you call him Zed?
Oh, because he's the first one, starting with 0 and
Going up. This is plaster that's been put around it?
To preserve them, they uncovered them in the ground and then wrapped it in the plaster of Paris and burlap to encase it, to keep it from getting jiggled around and broken. Then here in the lab, we also do all of the Pit 91 cleaning. Specimens that are in nice gooey tarry matrix.
What does matrix mean?
If you had a glass of water and you dropped a rock in the glass, the water would be the matrix for the rock. It's what surrounds something.
Could I have a lab coat?
Yeah,
Everybody else has one. This is my matrix.
Well, if we poured a bucket of tar over your head, that would be your matrix. Right? What we're about to get into is opening another one of the Easter eggs, the plaster jackets of
another one like this?
Some more of, in this case, this other jacket we're going to open has a whole string of his vertebral column.
Trevor, right?
Yep, that's right.
Great.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm good, thanks. What's up?
This is, we believe, the mid-vertebral, it says mid-vert, so it's the mid-vertebral column of Zed the Mammoth. And,
we're going to get into it. Standard technique is we use a grinder.
The trick is to cut through this as efficiently and cleanly as possible without showering dirt, cutting the bone in half, or anything truly dramatic like that. That was one layer, as I thought. Yep. We got newspaper right there. All right, so that's how deep we're going.
Yeah,
All right.
There's matrix right there.
So just a little bit and a little bit.
A little at a time.
Looks like it will.
Feel like I'm hitting dirt, which is good, right? Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see what we got.
Surprise.
Good grief.
Look, dirt.
Dirt! Matrix!
But it's dirt and matrix. It's mammoth.
Okay, I bet that's the end of the broken ribs that was sticking out from underneath it.
Zed's rib.
So something like that broken end.
How long does it take you to get the matrix out of there?
Oh, about a month.
Yeah. It takes a month to get...
carefully excavate it down.
The matrix isn't just dirt, but contains the remains of small animals and plants that can be just as important as the large fossil.
What's really exciting for us and what makes Rancho La Brea such an important fossil place is not only do we find nice big bones, but we find the bones of the little animals that actually lived here. The public looks through the window and says, what are they doing in there? Well, we're systematically going through this sediment, looking for things like this little snake vertebra and a little mouse toe. It's a window that allows us to look back to that time, because we've got what was growing here, what was living here from the bottom of the food chain up. So it's one of the most complete records of the Ice Age for anywhere in the world.
Just all in one, really relatively small spot. With all kinds of species just frozen in time.
Right here on Wilshire Boulevard.
Who knew? Coming up, you'll let me know when to stop, right?
There's a right way and a wrong way to blow up a cow.
If you put too much in, we're going to have an explosion here.
That'd be bad.
And later,
That's a grinder?
A 150 horsepower motor, and it flat eats up the cow.
The one that says on.
for most jobs, the term daily grind is just a metaphor. Not here.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that grinds them up pretty fast.
He's just gone. When it comes to recycling, we live in an age of heightened awareness. At least we think we do. As responsible Americans, we're now very concerned with separating our garbage from trash, plastic from paper, our compost from everything else. I've seen green containers, and I've seen blue containers, black containers, and brown containers. Today I've come to a farm in Northern California to see what's up with the red container. Now, I don't want to tell you too much, too early. I want to build a certain level of suspense and surprise, but I do feel I have a certain obligation to give you a small hint at this early hour. Moo.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of farm animals die of natural causes. Although the carcasses don't carry disease, they invite unwanted carrion birds and animals. So most farmers have them hauled away. Fortunately, they can be completely recycled.
Anyway, it's a beautiful day here on Northwind Farm, and from the smell in the air, the wind is blowing from the north, I think. Lupe, how are you?
Oh, pretty good, Mike.
Lupe Gonzalez drives the, do you have a special name for this truck?
Yeah, I call it a dead truck.
The dead truck.
My neighbor, he always call him, there comes a dead truck.
This is not unusual. This is an everyday thing. Every single day you're at a farm picking up dead cows.
Every single day, every day, different places. Every day they got something
Right.
to pick up. This morning I started 4:30 this morning.
4:30, you're driving the dead truck around the county, picking up the dead cows.
There we go. All the way down.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you that.
Yeah, you can knock yourself out on that thing. Crap.
Anyway,
What happened here? He's inside out.
they did an autopsy.
That's an auto. Okay. What are the odds of one of these things exploding?
Sometimes they do, but they don't explode. You know, sometimes they come from the back.
Should we take this out?
Yeah, you got to pull real hard.
Most people don't even think about farm animals dying of natural causes. Lupe thinks about it. He drives one of two trucks that service roughly a 16,000 square mile area from Sacramento to Redding. Together, those trucks pick up 30 to 35 animals a day.
Okay, that's it.
Like
Now-
that?
Yes. Now, over here. Now, sometimes I'll stay away because sometimes, like I said, you might get on.
Pull it in half.
Yeah.
Then you get the cable?
Yes. But you can hook them with the leg. It's easier sometimes.
Oh, good. How'd you get this job?
My brother, he worked 20 years for the company.
For the really good jobs, you got to know somebody.
But I don't have competition in this job. You know what I mean?
No, there are not a lot of people
Wanted
wanting to do.
job security. This one been dead for like 4 days. Fast.
All just maggots, right?
Yes.
You ever forget to close the gate?
Sometimes, yes.
This is exactly the kind of truck you don't want to be behind. You're going down the highway.
Well, this is home base for Lupe, North State Rendering in Oroville, California. However, this isn't the final destination for the animals. No, in the world of rendering, look at this as a new beginning. North State turns out millions of pounds of rendered product every year. The final result is used to manufacture hundreds of products, everything from soap to candles to pet food to cosmetics.
Rendering. What fresh hell is this? Chris?
My name's Chris. How you doing? Glad you can make it.
It's an honor and a privilege.
My privilege. Thank you very much.
Who's that? What's he doing?
Well, we're getting ready to skin it. We have to dispose of these animals now. We've brought them in, and they need to be recycled. The first order of business is to take the hide off, which is leather. It goes into leather eventually, and we got to get that off, and it's worth some money.
How long you had the business?
Well, I'm third generation. I've been up here since 1988, and this all my whole life. That's all I've ever done.
Your dad and your
My
granddad?
grandfather started back in 1919, and we're looking at the fourth generation now.
I called everybody looking for a place that could honestly show us what happens, because I know this is an important part of the whole farming reality.
Right.
How come you're the only guy who said yes?
Probably crazy. I don't know. But it's been a quiet industry, and you know, I think it's time people realize what we do. We recycle a lot of stuff, and we're a key part of the food chain. We really are.
It's been a quiet industry.
Coming up.
We're graded on freshness. The fresher the product, the more it's worth.
Just because something's fresh doesn't make it good.
You come back tomorrow morning, this will be empty.
Why don't we just meet here for breakfast?
There we go.
We'll have a nice buffet.
And later.
So you can see the combination of stuff coming out of there. And we're pumping the oil off. We're leaving the meat stay there.
What's cooking in this kitchen is a far cry from beef stew.
What's making my throat close up here?
A good smell? I don't know. Hungry? Okay. The next thing he's going to do is going to show you how to blow it up.
We're going to blow up a cow. We're going to blow it up. Like a balloon.
Okay, so show him where to put a hole.
Right here?
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Then you turn on the air. Get it inside there, good. We have to inflate it to separate the skin from the meat. Otherwise, this doesn't work very well. Okay. There we go.
You'll let me know when to stop, right?
Yeah, let him know. Yeah. Quite a bit.
Holy smokes, look at the leg. That's amazing.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
No, you don't just open it up and close it. If you put too much in, we're going to have an explosion here.
That'd be bad.
Yeah. So he's going to show you how we start. We start in the belly. And the idea of the whole thing is not put holes in it.
Don't put holes in the hide.
Yeah. It takes years to learn how to do a fast, quick hide.
How long has he been doing this?
Oh, pretty close 15 years,
Yeah.
20 years, yeah.
Did you ever do this?
I did it, but I was pretty poor at it. What you don't want to do is puncture the gut. There's gas in there.
Right.
So you'll be eating good stuff then.
What? You wear leather belts, right? Leather shoes? Leather coat, right? Okay, then. Don't look at me. I'm wearing rubber. Uh-oh.
Not bad. We're doing real good.
That's it. Keep that positive feedback coming, Chris. Just cows? Lupe was saying horses, too?
Yeah, we pick up horses and llamas, pigs. Okay, that is one skinned animal right there.
That's it. I've seen the bottom.
Yeah, that's it. Now the hide's got to go down to the cellar because we have to salt it and preserve it.
The cellar?
To preserve the hides, you got to put salt on them until they're ready to go to the exporter. Otherwise, they deteriorate to the point of they're not worth any money. So that's the hole in nowhere right there.
So this room, as bad as it is and as rough as it looks, is actually on top of another room.
That's correct.
That I can only assume looks worse.
Yes. So we've got to put this down to a size that we can cook and handle it. So
cook it.
To render is to reduce. So we're going to cook it down so we make usable products. In our case, it's yellow grease is the oil, called yellow grease. And then the second is meat and bone meal. And it's made to chicken feed and turkey feed. It's just one of the ingredients.
Wait a minute. We're making chicken food out of cows?
Yes. That's chicken and turkey. And pig, whatever, whoever buys it that wants to make it.
I got it.
So.
All right, so what?
So he's going to lift this thing up, and he's going to put it through this grinder right here, because we got to get it down to the size that I can convey it.
That's a grinder?
That is a grinder, and it's got a 150 horsepower motor, and it flat eats up the cow.
This is the perfect example of recycling because every single part of the animal is utilized.
Here we go.
Seriously, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. That's not true. I'm positive what's going to happen. That cow's going to go in a grinder. It's going to be a heck of a thing. You got little kids in the room. You got a weak stomach. I just feel like after all we've been through all these years, I got to tell you, I would never encourage you not to watch the show. I'm just saying right now, if you choose to look away or leave the room, nobody would blame you, least of all me. All right? There it is. A disclaimer. Is it going to be very loud?
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
That one. The one that says on. Good Lord, man.
Yeah, that grinds them up pretty fast.
It's just gone.
Yeah, it's hamburger now.
It's just gone. Where did it go?
It went in this hopper right here. It's a holding hopper. If you look in here, we're getting full. We've got to move this on. I mean, it's ready to hit the cookers.
Got it.
So
we got to move this along. Cooker's waiting. The bones, the organs, the intestine, the stomach, the liver, the meat, all of it.
Everything.
Straight into the feed.
We waste nothing.
Man, when you hear people talk about recycling, you just must laugh.
Yeah.
This is...
I recycle more in one day than most people do in a lifetime.
North State also recycles truckloads of discarded meat from slaughterhouses, butcher shops, even restaurants.
That's ice cream. That's the good stuff. That makes it nice, clear, clean fat. That's virgin stuff. See, it's never been rendered or touched, so.
And that's what we're looking to make? That's virgin fat?
We're graded on freshness. The fresher the product, the more it's worth.
Oh, dear.
The not-so-fresh stuff, called the black, is dumped into a different hopper.
And this comes from slaughterhouses and stuff like that.
The cooking process begins now?
Right. This is the holding hopper. We're getting ready to bring it inside, so I'm going to have my guys start up, and we're going to start emptying this baby out.
Go ahead. Let's empty this baby.
So let's do the job. There we go. Like tonight, this will be all gone.
It'll take hours for all this to get processed?
Yeah. You come back tomorrow morning, this will be empty.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Why don't we just meet here for breakfast?
There we go.
Around 6. We'll have a nice buffet.
Whatever you want, pick what you want.
I'll have the meat omelet. Let me explain as best I can what's happening here. The stuff the guy in the truck dropped off from the butcher shop, that's coming up on this conveyor. And the cows that we ground up, that's coming up that conveyor. And they're all getting mixed up right here and forced downward. I prefer to look at Chris as a chef and this whole thing as a recipe. What we're making is cooked bone and yellow grease. And here is everything mixed up. It coagulates in this area and then gets forced down again and extruded through more pipes into a cooker.
There are actually 3 cooking tanks in this building. Each one of them holds 6.5 tons of, let's call them ingredients.
So we're going to shut this one off. We're going to empty the contents.
Soup, anyone? Could use a little salt, pepper, maybe some garlic.
I wish you could smell it.
So you can see the combination of stuff coming out of there. It's both oil and meat, both. So we're watching the pan, make sure we don't overfill it.
Right.
And then we're pumping the oil off. We're leaving the meat stay there. You can look up there, you can see it. That's the oil coming off right there.
Some of the refined oils are used as additives in the manufacture of soap, cosmetics, and skincare products, as well as synthetic motor oil and other lubricants. After most of the oil is drained off and saved, the meat is transferred to another machine.
That guy.
That guy right there is called a press or an expeller. And its job is to squeeze the oil out of the meat down to about 10%. It comes out powdery like you see on top there.
What's making my throat close up here?
A good smell? I don't know. Hungry? Are you hungry? I don't know.
I'll follow you out.
Okay.
Coming up.
Mike, this is the cellar. We're going to salt some hides, the ones that we pulled off, that you pulled off.
Even the bottom has a very, very bottom. In this case, it's called the cellar.
Every little door you got here, it's like let's make a deal for, people that never win.
And later.
Stay on this side of the board, okay?
This side of the board?
Yes,
How
sir.
deep is it on this side?
It's over your head.
This is not mud. This is grease.
Digging in a trench where the dirt isn't what makes you dirty.
You're looking at me and you're wondering how you can tap into an opportunity like this.
I thought I'd pretty much seen everything here at North State, but Chris reminded me that Salvador had some hides to deal with.
Okay, Mike, this is the cellar. We're going to salt some hides, the ones that we pulled off, that you pulled off. We need to preserve them for when we ship them out. And so we got to get some salt on those things before they rot.
This is every little door you got here. It's like let's make a deal for, people that never win.
That's right. Well, we're winners. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're winners. I know. They're not.
As your shoes are.
These are the cow hides, and these have already been salted.
These have already been salted, and they're getting ready. So we need to get these on here because we're trying to preserve them. So what we got to do?
Oh, that's the door that they came through?
That's the door they come through. Basically, just drag them on out. You can help me if you want.
Sure, I want to help you. I want to be your friend.
We're going to drag it right up here in the corner.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to spread it out. We can't have any folded corners.
No.
Because we got to get the salt in everywhere. So you take the salt and you kind of sling it.
It's a lot like the shoveling technique
we got to sling it.
Oh, it's slinging. You might not have seen that before. That's not a sling. That's what I call a shake and a sprinkle.
Pepper salt?
Yeah.
Okay.
The hides are kept here an average of 6 days before they're shipped to a tannery.
Pretty close.
We're out of salt. We're out of hides. And we're out of work?
Well, not really. I got another problem going on in this place. We're going to have to go up here and skimmer. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but we already said we were out of salt.
We're done. That's
So you're
okay.
going to take me to the skimmer?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I'll follow
We got
you.
a problem out there. We need to take care of it before.
A problem with the skimmer.
Let's see. A skimmer usually skims something. I wonder what it could be.
Okay, Mike, this is the famous skimmer.
The famous skimmer?
Yeah, this is the place where we kind of collect all the grease from the plant that overflows and wash down and everything. I'll let it get out of control a little bit. We need to clean this mess up, get these paddles working again, so we got to do a little manual labor here.
Who's this poor guy?
This guy's Todd right here. He's a good old man. And
How you doing, Todd? Is that an extra shovel you have there, Todd?
Yes, sir.
stay on this side of the board, okay?
This side of the board?
Yeah.
Yes,
How
sir.
deep is it on this side?
It's over your head.
Everything is essentially covered with grease, right?
Yes, sir.
No. Remember, stay on that side of the board.
Safe point on this point?
Yeah. Oh, what the heck is that?
That's a pump coming on you.
Wait. We're putting it here?
Yes, sir.
You gotta stop calling me sir, my friend. It's almost as frightening as this stuff. This is some kind of day, Todd.
Yes, sir. What we do around here every day. Unfortunately, things do break.
You're the maintenance guy at a rendering plant?
Yes, sir.
I just gotta tell you, that's a good one. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is not mud. This is grease from grease traps in restaurants. Collected all through California. It winds up here. And there's a little clog.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on this.
All right, we gotta turn this thing on.
Oh, I know what you're thinking. Naked envy. You're looking at me and you're wondering how you can tap into an opportunity like this. Well, I'll tell you. No idea. But everything's working out the way it's supposed to?
Yes, sir. It's all done?
Well, that's the good news. Here's the bad news. I'm leaving.
I'm sorry.
I'd love to chat, but it's been a long day and I don't think I smell very good.
No, sir. Thank you for the help.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Call me. I'll be back. Not exactly a clean exit. Well, Chris, I can't thank you enough, so I'll just say goodbye.
Well, I appreciate you've been a great employee.
You're
and
too
I've had a good
kind.
time. I got something here for you.
Uh-huh.
This is the fruits of your labor.
This is a rendered cow.
This is a rendered cow.
I'll cherish it forever.
Thank you.
See ya. I know. You saw some things today that were difficult to look at. Some of you might even be pissed off, but listen, the cows were dead when we found them. They could have gone to the landfill, but instead, they came here to be rendered, and I'm glad they did. We took off their hides so you can have your shoes and your boots and your belts, keep your pants up. We extracted all of their juices to make a high-quality grease to help keep our polite society lubricated. And what's left is pure, unadulterated cow. Or in this case, chicken feed. And that's food for thought. Every now and then people ask me, Mike, they say, what exactly do you mean when you say you're looking for a dirty job? And I say, well, dirty can mean anything. It can mean disgusting. It can mean gross. It can mean difficult. It can be dangerous. It can be cold. It could be warm. It could be downright hot. But whatever it is, if you got one, I'd love to hear about it. Sooner than later, before I go up in flames. Would you mind? Discovery.com/dirty jobs. While there's time. I can't believe you're literally on international television right now, and you're making a point, and we're hanging on to your every word, and you're suddenly hopelessly distracted by a worm. I've been here for 12 hours, and I forgot to tell you that I've been rendered speechless.
Now it's all covered with asphalt. Oh
And
my
this,
God.
important calls coming
Sorry
in?
about that.
No, I'm sure it's important.
Yeah.
That was your phone. It's no big,
It's like 5 years old.
like the way you think.